Thanks a lot for clicking on the video, guys. Part 3 in this little mini-series with me, Mark and Ross. If you're new to SoRare and you haven't joined the platform yet, links are down below for you to get your hands on all the free stuff going to get your account up and running. Make sure if you do like the content, you do support the channel as best you can just by giving us a wee like and a share and a retweet, and wherever you find us, give us a bit of love and support. It means the world to me. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the episode today. What we're talking about is the age-old question: how do you value a super rare? Bang. Maybe one of the hardest things a lot of us can get to grips with is how to value a super rare. Now, we've kind of talked about it in the last couple of parts in different ways, but there's a wide variety of profiles of players. So we've got that to take into consideration, as well as things like position, what divisions to qualify for under 23s, do they have a silver lining in terms of a transfer potential further down in their career. There's a lot of things that go into it. And it's something that a lot of people, definitely when you're buying super rares, your first one, your second one, your third one, you will be second guessing a lot of the bids you make or a lot of the offers you make to managers, because you will be thinking, it's a really big purchase for me. It's my first super rare, my first couple of super rares. I don't want to spend more in excessively, and then cost myself something further down the road.
Yeah.
How did you guys cope with that or manage around that or value super rares when you were going and getting them?
I think it's a wee bit more difficult now as well, because I think the scoring changed at some point as well, didn't it? So obviously the way they do the divisions, the way the scoring now, the way I look at it as super rare, obviously it's a base level is almost like having an extra captain in Division 4.
Yeah.
So there were some guys that said, all right, well, if a rare's worth 50 quid, then super rare should be worth 500 because it's 10 times, and the starting price of them is 10 times. And there's 10 times less of them, but I think it's more complicated than that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think it is a wee bit more complicated than that, because I don't think it's just a case of saying if you would pay 50 quid for somebody, you'd have to pay 500 for the super rare. You've got to look at how many are in circulation at that point as well. Like are all 9 or 10 of them out already? Are there only 1 or 2 being released? And then also, kind of got to look a wee bit at the scores. Like you'll see sometimes that a lot of the guys who are rare cards are going for prices that are more than some of the super rares. So if you're looking at a super rare, don't just buy one that's an average scorer for the sake of having a super rare, because a lot of the guys who are rares, who are really good scorers, pretty much score like a super rare, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you buy a guy who's banging in 50s all the time or whatever, that's good as a good sort of baseline or whatever, but you could maybe pick up a rare and they're averaging over 60, and the fact of the matter is that's pretty much similar in terms of what points you're going to get. So you've got to look at a few factors, but I don't think it's just a case of saying just 10x it or whatever. I think you've got to base it on who you're buying and what position they're in, and obviously what they score as well.
What about you, Ross?
Yeah, I think just adding to that as well, there's a difference between being scarce and being scarce and actually usable or wanted, let's say. So someone like a Dalton who I won, I think there's only 3 or 4 of him out of the 10 that have actually been produced, and obviously it's a J League card, so it'll be a first year card, so there's only maybe 3 of him on the platform. However, if all the 3 people are actually trying to sell them, then there's a telling thing there that his actual demand for that player is not as much, despite the fact that his card is scarce. Whereas someone like Kazai's really now, with his move, he will now, even if there's 10 out of 10 of them, there's still only 10. He'll be moving to a league, yes, he'll still be licensed, so there'll be another 10 next year. But you've also got to think about timing, so the first one might come out in the first week, and then he might not have another option for 2 months. And you might be able to win him twice in a tournament, but that's also predicated on you having a lineup that's eligible to win him in the tournament. So you might have to enter an Asia D3 lineup, and I might think, well, I don't want to enter an Asia D3 lineup, I want to enter a global D3.
Yeah.
So it's all about it's unless you can actually pinpoint each player, then it's pretty difficult to do. But in terms of valuing them, it is essentially a relationship between who holds and who wants to hold. So some of these cards, I'll look at them and think, these are great for what I want, these are good for my aspirations, and they make up the backbone of a really good team. Someone else might be thinking, well, if I can sell 10 rewards that I've garnered in the last few weeks, and I can go and invest in a unique, it's the exact same all the way up the chain. So it's all about supply and demand, not necessarily scarcity. But also, it's nice to have someone like Acosta who it says 1 out of 10 that I've got, but there's actually only one being issued. So essentially it's a 1 out of 1 card, which is quite a nice little thing to have. So I've set the price on that one.
Nice.
But that's a pretty rare thing to happen. I mean, you've seen it with some of the cards come on. I think Ozil was on his third super in about 3 weeks. So
really?
Some of these cards get pushed out harder than others.
I seen the second one came up. I didn't realise there was a third one kicking about.
It may have been the second one. I might have been pushing a bit, but yeah, I just heard you speak with Dan the other night, and he was saying about
Ozil. Yeah.
Trying to put Ozil quite early.
No, I kind of feel that way as well about a bunch of the super rares. So, like when I've been going out and shopping for them, I might have a particular target, but when you go out and you reach out to the managers that own them, they don't want to sell. It's kind of the same thing you were saying there, but in a roundabout way. And then sometimes these guys can be impossible to get a hold of, and more into exactly what you were saying, like you can't control when they're available. You know, yeah, they're going to get another 10 next season, but how long will it take that 10 to trickle out? 5 of them or 4 of them? How many of them will be rewards? 4 of them will be rewards. 1. I don't know what they do with super rares, but see with the breakdown for the rares, it's what is it? It's 50 will go on the market, 40 are for rewards, and 10 are for referrals. I don't think they'll have that split for the super rares. I think it'll just be 50-50. 5 go on reward and 5 go on auction. So if 5 do go on auction, you know, not all of them are going to be Mesut Ozils, so they'll get 2 out in a week, you know, of onboarding the card. So sometimes you're going to need to wait maybe 3 months for, like that in the Mecca. Like Ross, you know, how long was that hunting for a super rare in the Mecca? I chased down every one of them that went up for auction. I think I got the third one in the end. But it took me like 3 months, 4 months to actually get the thing to land because you're playing that game.
And so, that's where the value of timing comes in. I think if you're happy to wait, if say a lot of these cards are out of season and I've picked up maybe sort of a 5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, and people who were keen to get in at the start, they went and got theirs. They don't care if he's in season or out of season or how much it costs or whatever. They picked up the number 1 out of 10 or whatever. Maybe a couple of them have been won and then they've been traded about, and this is where it sort of comes to these cards were less valuable at the moment because they were out of season. However, to me, because I'm not relying on them for what I was trying to do, which for the last few months has been churning out ETH and seeing if I can pick up some tier 3 rewards, then these were worth out rewards for a sort of cheaper budget. And then as they become ripened, I can start to look at it again and think, well, this guy's maybe not actually playing that much, but he is doing quite well. I can make more money on him and then start to reinvest back in the next cycle. So that's sort of how I think about the value of players. I'm not necessarily fussed about what they cost now. It's necessarily how can I utilise them later on and what can I possibly sell them for once they become ripe again. So that comes into part of the valuation process for sure.
Yeah, I think the Dodo that I bought as well is kind of funny story. So the auction was on in the morning. I was going to get up in the morning. I was going to bid for the auction. It was a really good price. Went to bid. When I went to bid, I'd been sort of using my card and my bank put a block on it to do that sometimes because obviously you're like the site's abroad and that type of thing. So I went to bid. It wouldn't go through. So then like the auction passed and the guy got it for like 100 quid and I was raging. Then I got a text through saying, was that you that answered it? Card sorted. So then I noticed that he had another one. So he bought one for like 100 and another one on the market for like 400. So I thought maybe he just likes this guy who's picked him up cheap. And then so I thought I'll make him a bid. Maybe he'll want to flip that card on like after the auction because he's got 2. So I made him a bid of like around 50% more and he rejected it. And then later on, I thought, you know what? So I know he's only paid like 100 for him, but like I really want him. He's young. I think he could add the league. He's playing soon. I offered him a wee bit more, and then he sold him. So that's kind of a good point earlier. But so these guys listed on the market, and he sold that card at a lot less than he had the other one listed on the market.
Yeah.
But I noticed he had 2, and he was attracted to doing the flip from the auction. So had I bid at that auction, it would have probably driven the price up a wee bit more. So you can't just look at the auction and say, well, that guy went for 100 quid. You've got to remember that if you'd have gone in that auction, you might have driven the price up a wee bit as well.
Yeah.
So you've just got to kind of say, well, what is he worth to you? How much you want to pay? And then you pay it. Don't get too fixated with the super rares of, well, what would I be able to sell them at tomorrow? Like, you're buying them to use them, obviously, unless you're planning on a quick flip, which is a different thing we're talking about in terms of the value and things. So yeah, so there's lots of factors at play, but as you said, like they're just so rare and they don't come out that much that
no pun
if you
intended.
kind of feel as if you want to buy them, then you know, I know it's pardon the pun, but if they're in your price range and you think they're worth that, then just pay it.
Yeah. Here's one for you, right? I'm scouring the market as we're talking. On the secondary market now, the only super rare in existence of its kind, 1 of 10, Audrey Azola, right? And you guys will probably remember as well as I do from Football Index times, there was a spell where this guy was flavour of the month, and he may have been, if memory serves me right, a big part of the reason that Real Madrid sold Hakimi to Inter Milan. Market, it's on the secondary market right now. How much do you think it's going for? Bearing in mind he's not been in the team much. Don't cheat.
Okay. I don't know, maybe somewhere around 0.15, 0.2, something like that.
You're on the money-ish. Mark, he's a guess without cheating.
I've already called him up, so I can't guess now. Sorry.
I hadn't called him up.
0.2.
Too fast, fastest finger.
0.2, which currently pricing out £250. It's not nothing, but I would, so somebody like that would grab my attention certainly from a super rare. Somebody that's at Real Madrid. You have a bit of background on the player, you know something about them already. They've had good form in the past, or whatever.
Quite close to the price. I mean, obviously, you look at what he has been selling for, like as a rare, but like as opposed to what he's on the market for. But there's not that big a gap, if that makes sense, between the prices. But I'm scrolling down, and it looks as if he's actually been going a bit cheaper, obviously, because he's not playing. So, but that's one where, like, you would maybe want to go in with a bid, just go in underneath and see whether this guy maybe just wants to get rid of him because he's not playing or it's not worked out, So, but a lot of guys that will accept bids, now, but you couldn't really have that angle before. It was a case that you buy it or you try and find them in the Discord or whatever, but now you can go in with something you think's reasonable and see whether they bite, so.
I'm just kind of looking into this now, right? So, according to Football, he'll be back early March, right? So he's obviously out injured somehow. I want to see who's playing for right back for Madrid now. Oh, he played them.
Carvajal, no?
Oh, Carvajal, of course. Carvajal's number one. I don't know why I had to check that. He played against Huesca. Odriozola's been back. Even though that app says he's not been back, he has been.
When you were talking about Hakimi, I think the main reason was because he didn't want to rotate with Carvajal. I think he wanted to go out and play first team football.
Got you.
And then obviously Carvajal was nailed on as Zidane's, love child or something. He loves the guy. So as long as he's there, I think Odriozola might struggle. But he's the kind of guy, if you've got foresight and £250 is an amount that you're happy to sit holding with without actually thinking about current utility, this is where what you value him as compared to somebody else might be different, because he's
amazing at Sociedad.
I think he went out on loan to the Bundesliga at some point. Not 100%.
He went to Bayern Munich.
I think.
Odriozola.
Right, okay.
He went to Bayern, won the Champions League.
Must be a decent player.
Yeah.
Good pedigree, and you see a lot of these Spanish boys that maybe drop down, and they could make it back up like an Alex Vidal or something like that. Obviously, it didn't work out for him, but even these boys that you see at the academies and they go and have great careers, it's like if you zoom out and you think, well, he might not play this season, and then he might want to move, and then he goes to a Valencia or an unlicensed team, for example, then he becomes really scarce, and then you're sitting and thinking, well, he might have been up for £250 now, but if you negotiate it down to, let's say, 175, then you're sitting laughing because you've just had a bit of foresight. So
a bit of patience.
That's definitely part of valuing these super rares, because they're so, like you say, there's only one in the market. So if you're entering him in a tournament and he's a really good scorer, well, you're the only one reaping the benefits of that score.
Yeah.
Carvajal's
he's not playing much just now as well. The other advantage is, like, when he starts playing, then there's going to be more demand, and you would think he should be more valuable. Like, so obviously, like, that's the beauty of the guys that kind of aren't in the team. If you think there's a really good chance at some point they'll be playing, and that there should be demand for them if they're good players, then they're usually worth that punt, I think, to be honest.
Aye. So that just kind of caught my eye. But looking at it, Carvajal's injured now. I think that Odriozola, he's been in the team the last few weeks, but I think he's mainly just got an injury in the last match or something. Because Footmob does say he's back mid-Feb, so maybe he's just got a wee knock. Not something I was actually quite tempted. I thought maybe I've just stumbled upon something amazing here. I might just go and buy him, but I think I can see why he's
I might just buy him just now while we're on, just to...
I feel like this is almost like when you go shopping when you're hungry. When you're talking about Football Index, when you're talking about SoRare, and then you look on the market and you go, oh, this is sort of tempting me a little bit.
Yeah.
Nice.